Hi, everyone. I'm Jess Nicastri, a doTERRA Diamond leader, and I'm here today to talk to you about vendor events. So the first thing that you need to do is pick a vendor event that is suitable for you. And what I mean by that is thinking about events that align with our products. So health and wellness events are really great. Anything that you can tie doTERRA back to that makes sense and aligns with our products is really important. Also, what I found to be very useful are events that focus on shopping because people are planning to spend money that day. They're coming to an event to see what they can buy. So they have a budget that they've set, or maybe not, but they're ready to spend money that day. So that's a good event. And then you want to think about the cost of that event and what it's going to cost for you to be involved in at that event. So it's important to ask questions like what's included? Are you just getting an open spot? Do you need to provide your own table and chairs and table skirting and things like that? Or does that all come with it? So those are things that you can ask the coordinator when you're getting details. I also ask questions about how the attendance has been previous years. Think about if it's an outside space, like do you need coverage, like a tent that you would have to put up over one of those pop-ups generally, or is it inside? So just kind of ask all the questions so you know, so you can be prepared. And then I also tend to ask the coordinators for a discount because I just say to them that, our doTERRA products, the price point is cheaper than a lot of other events, especially when you're, for example, if you're doing like a wedding expo event, think of like a videographer or a photographer. Their price point is going to be quite a bit higher. And really all they need to do is book one client and that event's, paid for. But for you selling the doTERRA products, it might take, a bit more selling to be able to make that event profitable for you. So I just generally ask for a discount and just say, my price point on my items are a lot cheaper and it's the first time I'm doing this event. I'd love to participate, but wondering if you can help me out and give me a discount so that I could be able to do your event. And a lot of times they will go ahead and do that. And sometimes they won't. And then you can decide if it makes sense for you to participate or not. Now, the next thing that you want to think about is setup for the event. So you want to make sure that you have something with like doTERRA, a sign, a banner, something. I feel like eye level works really well because people are walking by at eye level. They're not always looking down. So if you can grab their attention, I also find that banners that say things that for what the products do to help them with are very catchy. And I find a lot of people stop because they see something on the banner like, oh, sleep. I need help with sleep. Let me see what she has. And then they'll engage in a conversation with you about that. So that's really just a good tip. I also like to have cash and carry items. So how I run my vendor events is very different from when I started, you know, 8, 9 years ago. I used to just set up and I wanted to try to enroll people and sign people up for classes and things like that. But what I find is most people that are coming through at these events, they want to buy something and take it home with them that day. So if you don't have a lot of cash and carry, that's okay. Maybe work with your upline and see if they can help you out and you can replenish it or whatever. You can always work something out with them. But for me, I've been doing the business for a little bit. So I find that I do have cash and carry on hand. So I'm able to have a bunch of product on my table to sell. Now, when you have cash and carry, you want to also have a way to process payments. I personally use Square, but there are other options out there. I find that Square, you do have a one-time fee to purchase the card processor piece that you're going to use. And then there is a percentage that's taken out when you actually use Square, but it tends to be the cheapest that I found. If you guys know something that's cheaper, let me know because I'd be happy to know that too. But Square works really well, and then you can process the payments for anything that you sell that day. Now, the piece about selling product is interesting because there's a couple ways that you can do it. Generally, as I'm talking to the potential customer and asking them, they're telling me what they're interested in, and I'm maybe telling them the price or whatever. I just start throwing in there like, oh, do you already have an account with doTERRA? And they'll say, No, I don't. I've just ordered through a friend, or I've just ordered here and there when I've seen product and picked it up. So I say, oh, great. Well, when you do make a purchase today, that's going to qualify you for a free account. And the reason why we can do that is because there's no enrollment fee. So really all they have to do is buy one item and we're able to sign them up for an account. Now, we do know that there's shipping costs and tax associated. So generally I charge for the cost of the product and tax. And then I figure out when I go to place the order how I'm going to do that. So obviously, we try to get for up to $100 in product because then it's free shipping and you don't have to worry about that. But you'll find what works best for you. We can talk about this on another call. It's a bigger part of the process, but it generally works out in the end after you processed all your payments and stuff, and how you handle that. So all right, let's see. The next couple of things that I wanted to talk about, important things. So I find that it's really important to have a way for people that are walking by. Maybe they're not interested right at that moment, but they, had a conversation with you or want to go talk to somebody else and, get more information before they decide if they're going to order or not. I like to have a trifold on hand, have my contact information in the front. I put a picture because I think that way they can relate back. Oh yeah, that's the girl that I saw at the show. And all my contact information is there. I also have it on the back. And this way with the QR code, they can just scan that. It does take them right to, I use the link generator and create the pick your own items, and then I just don't put anything in the cart. And so it takes them right there. And then that way when they pull it up, they can just hit shop more and they can pick the items that they want, but it does take them right there so that they can sign up as a customer. And that seems to work really well. I do point that out too. So as a customer or as a potential customer is, walking by the table, if they're, not just ready to buy something right then, as I give this to them, I just say, all you have to do is scan the QR code and it's going to take you right to my site. You're going to get 25% off if there's anything that you need. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you while you're placing that order. And then you get that into their hands. So trifold works really good. Business cards, I feel like people aren't using them as much anymore, and they're also kind of tiny and they're easy to lose and stuff. Flyer is just a little bit bigger, and I think it works really well. So the next thing that I forgot to mention when I was talking about the table and ordering and things like that, I make sure that I have the build your own customer enrollment kits forms with me. So as somebody is picking out the items that they want to purchase that day and I'm tallying up how much it costs, I hand them the sheet and I ask them to fill out the top part in the gray section so that I have all their information to set up their account. And then I do process their payment through Square. And then later after the show, I go ahead and figure out how I'm putting their order in online, and your upline can work with you on that. So from time to time, you will get a customer that wants something more than what you have on your table. So you can also just take their credit card information and I just let them know there will be shipping charges with that because obviously we have to order that directly from the company, but I have them fill out the form. I take their credit card information and then I process that for them after the fact. So that's how I handle that. And then the last thing that you want to do that I think is really important with vendor events is having a way to connect back with people after the fact. Now, I mentioned the wedding expo where they gave me all the contacts. That doesn't happen at every show. It happens at only a few. So I recommend doing a drawing and either using the printed drawing slips, or what my preference is, I created a Google form and I ask a few questions on it. So obviously their name and email, contact information. I ask what the best way to reach them, text, phone, or email, ask what time of the day is best to reach them. I also throw in there, like, tell me some topics that you're interested in learning more about. And I give them just a bunch of examples and they can check as many as they want. And then the last question I have on there is asking them if they're interested in learning more about essential oils, and they can check these off too. If they're interested in hosting a class, if they're interested in learning more about the business. So those are just some things. And then, so I do a drawing, I have them scan my QR code, which takes them to that Google form. That's my preference because then I have it all already in a sheet basically, because you can take the form and export those details right into a sheet, which is Excel, and you can add that right to your database. So you have all their contact information, super easy. Follow-up is really important. Sometimes you'll get done with the event and you've done well, whether it's through sales, enrollments, whatever it is, you're happy with the event, but don't forget to follow up, because I do actually get a lot of customers still from the follow-up. So I target specifically what they're interested in, and I send them a note after the fact and just remind them that I saw them. I also try to give them some ideas of ways that they can use the products, maybe tying back to that event. So for example, the wedding expo, I explained for them to think about keeping me in mind when they were coming up with ideas for bridal shower gifts, for bridal attendant gifts, a fun spa day to just relax with their bridal attendants before the big day, all kinds of things like that. And so I make sure I kind of spell it out for people, because sometimes they just need to know how they can use these products and in the area that they're thinking about. So make sure you follow up, because there's definitely just good results in the follow up as well. So I know that was a lot of information, but they told me to only talk for a couple minutes. I think I went over, but I hope that you guys enjoy hearing more about that, and good luck with setting up those vendor events.